folks, and welcome back to the day 3 of this Demystifying Your Emotional, a 10-day challenge to amp up your emotional intelligence. I hope you are enjoying this course as much as I am enjoying sharing with you my perspective about this wonderful concept of emotional intelligence. Before we go ahead with today's topic, let me give you a short recap of what we have been through in the last 2 days of the challenge. We have touched upon first core principle as described by Daniel Goleman, and that is self. Yes, you guessed it right. It's self-awareness. And I have given you 2 activities to do. One is you have to take your EQ test and quiz where you will come to know where do you stand. And second is the concept of journaling. Again, to give you a short insight, great scientists and research scholars have done research. You will find all of those articles in the Harvard Business Review, which I surely recommend that you should definitely subscribe and follow them on all social media channels. They say that people who regularly journal their thoughts. Self-awareness is a concept. It may seem as a philosophical concept, but to turn that philosophical concept into an actual practical insight, the number one tool for you is journaling. When you take out your book and you start writing your thoughts down, it's like an emotional catharsis. Well, a study also says that when a group of cancer patients were given a therapeutic exercise of journaling their thoughts, their recovery rate improved because they were able to process their thoughts. Yes, my dear friends, if you have still not done the activity, please do this journaling activity every day, and trust me on this, towards the end of the 10th day, you are going to thank me for it. Well, let's go today to day 3. And today is self-regulation. The second principle as described by Daniel Goleman in helping you leverage your emotional intelligence. As described by him, it is a star leader's secret weapon. So let me share with you a common example which I believe all of us, must have been a part of. Have you been through times when you have had interruptions, when you are pressing hard on a tight deadline? You are stuck in a traffic and you know for sure you're going to be late for an important client meeting. Your co-worker just shouts on you for no fault of yours. I'm sure we all have had such experiences on a personal front or on an organizational front. Your emotions may be running high. You want to vent it out. You want to channel that out to someone else, but you're not able to do that. Many a times we try to suppress those emotions, which on a longer run leads to hazards in our body. So what is self-regulation in layman concept is how we handle our emotions. How we handle our emotions, our biological impulses at such situations is known as self-regulation. And to get to self-regulation, self-awareness is a mandate. You need to be self-aware, and to go to step 2 of self-regulation, you need to do journaling. You need to be aware of all the trigger points, of all those thoughts, and then you can regulate those emotions. So as again said, this is a definition which I've picked up from the book. It's driven by biological impulses when the emotions are running high. Okay, and those emotions need to be carefully managed, and that is known as self-regulation. So in other words, self-regulation is equal to self-management. My dear friends, we all need to take the driving seat and stop being the backseat driver. We do not have, or I would say, put in other words, no person on this planet Earth should be given the audacity to take the driver's seat. We are not backseat drivers. The day you give your driving seat to someone else to regulate emotions of yours, that's the day where you are doomed to self-destruction. It's like digging your own grave. So self-regulation is self-management. When your emotions are running high, how do you manage? So again, a second concept you need to understand is self-regulation is self-management. You are taking hold of your driver's seat. Let me share with you some of the core competency of self-regulation. These are the 6 core competencies which an individual must have or should strive to achieve. Emotional self-control, trustworthiness, being honest with your core values. And what is a value, you may ask? The values are certain core principles that only belongs to us. Our life revolves around those values. So that's trustworthiness. Flexibility. People who have good self-regulation, they're able to adapt themselves and adjust. Optimism, obviously, they're able to see opportunities, and their life revolves around one common principle that every cloud has a silver lining. Achievement, developing your performance to meet your own standard of excellence, and initiative, taking the action when it is necessary. So these are the 6 core competency of self-regulation, and these are some of the mandate requisites if you want to inculcate self-regulation. So let me share with you an interesting experiment that was done in 1960s known as the Marshmallow Experiment, also cited by Daniel Goleman. 4 children were given 2 options. They can eat one marshmallow when they were offered, or they could choose to wait till the experimental results, and then if they choose to wait, they will be given 2 marshmallows. So out of the 4 kids, 2 of them could not resist and they had 1 marshmallow. But the other 2 waited for the experimenter to return back, and then they got the prize of 2 marshmallows. So when these 4 children were followed up, and as they grew up to be individuals, it was seen that the 2 children who could not resist, they could not resist themselves to wait to receive the 2 marshmallows, they had lower emotional intelligence. They were not able to control their feelings. They were not able to control their hunger pangs. They could not resist the emotions that the emotions of the pleasure that they will get when they'll eat the marshmallow. But the other 2 kids, it was found interestingly that they were more intellectually skilled, more responsible, they were more dependable, attentive, they had better relationships, and they had better self-control. And why, you may ask? It was only because they were able to control and regulate their feelings for the greater glory. So this is a marshmallow experiment, which he says that it all boils down, the marshmallow experiment boils down to one simple concept, is how you're able to control, regulate your emotions effectively when you are presented with marshmallows. So here the analogy used is marshmallow is equal to your emotions, how you're able to manage your emotions when they are running high. So what are the tips to regulate your emotions? Some of the practical things which you can do. Number 1 is, first of all, becoming more aware of your emotions and how you react to them. Number 2 is, if people are critical, work out how what they say can be constructive and they can be helpful to you. Take time out. Just isolate yourself from the difficult situation. Take some time. Drink water and breathe deeply. Self-hypnosis is a valuable way to learn to control your emotions. I'll be touching on that in the later aspect of the course. Make time to think about situations and your emotions. Think of ways you could change what you do or the way you react. And then replace negative thoughts with positive ones. Plant new thoughts. Change your mindset from fixed mindset to growth mindset. Okay, identify your emotions, the negative ones, and replace it with the positive ones. Dale Goleman again says that leaders who have self-regulation shine in integrity, and it's an invincible virtue and which is directly proportional to the asset of the organization. Leaders with great self-regulation are an incredible asset to the organization. We will be having such situations in our organization and personal life too. We are not going to escape it anyhow. But then we have a chance here. We have a chance of looking at it from a different perspective. We have a chance of regulating our emotions. We have a chance of accepting whatever it is and replace our negative emotions to the positive ones. It is going to take time. Trust me, it was difficult even for me, and I'm still struggling, but I'm very much proud of myself that as I've tried doing this, I'm at a much better place than I was before. Okay, even at this point of we are stuck in a pandemic, I'm sure we all will be having emotions running high. We will be having a kind of uncertainty. We'll not be able to see the future right now. Economic, there will be, you'll be having, how am I going to manage certain things after the lockdown gets over? How am I going to manage my finances? How the life is going to be after this? I'm sure we all are flooded with such negative thoughts. But they're all just thoughts. All we have to do is we have to regulate those thoughts and turn those thoughts into positive ones. You need to regulate your thoughts. This is the best time I have to invest in myself. This is the best time I have to stay with my family indoors and spend more time. You can regulate your emotions that way instead of looking at the negative side. Yes, there is negativity around, but we cannot just wail around, cry around, wimp around. We need to regulate our emotions, and let's just start doing this. The main motto behind this course is that towards the end of the 10th day, we have to be a better person than what we were at the beginning of this course. And trust me, my dear friends, if you're with me in all the days, doing all the activities, these are not just activities which we are sharing with you just for the sake of it. But these activities I have done, and I have seen the lives of my family and friends improve. I have seen the growth in my personal life too. So please take it up religiously. All of these 10 days of learnings that you're going to have, spend some time in introspection. Spend some time in journaling, being aware. And then after you're aware, regulate those emotions and thoughts. Replace the destructive thoughts with the constructive ones. As George Bernard Shaw, life isn't about finding yourself. It's about creating yourself. Managing your responses and impulsive emotions is an essential part of creating yourself. This is the key to self-regulation. So, today's exercise for you is a marshmallow exercise. What you're going to do: list the things that cause an impulsive emotional reaction. You need to identify what are those trigger areas that that sparks that emotional outburst in you. Okay, divide the page in two halves. One is the start list and one is a stop list. In the stop list, you're going to stop doing those things, and what you're going to start. First, you have to identify those trigger areas, and you are going to again self-regulate yourself, that how you are going to regulate yourself when you're encountered with such situations. Okay, for example, my emotional triggers, they are all activated when someone annoys me when I'm in work. So how can I regulate this? The best way is to tell them very politely that I'm in the middle of the my assignment or project, and they can contact me after some time. Number two is to keep all my noise making devices on silent or airplane mode. This is another way where I will be not reachable. Okay, so these are some of the ways that I can efficiently be productive in the exercise and not trigger my emotional response. So I hope you're getting this. List the things that cause an emotional trigger and how you are going to manage that, and you have to do it today, and you will have to share your experiences, your takeaways in the feedback link. We have a quiz also for you today. You will have to take the quiz, you will have to take the feedback, you will have to do all that has been said today, because we are going to have a special surprise for all of you towards the end of this challenge. That's it from my side. This is Dr. Starry John signing off for today's day 3 challenge, and I wish all of you that we all together, as we end this 10-day of challenge, we are emotionally intelligent more than we were towards the beginning of this challenge. Take care, stay safe, and sayonara.